Welcome back, my friends, to the Moto Guzzi show that never ends. Let's talk a little bit about brakes. I don't think we've touched on brakes before. So we're here in the shop, me and the Guzzi dog. What do you reckon about brakes, Sasha? Single or twin discs? Single or twin? Single, good girl. Yeah. Now, yes, the disc is okay on this bike. Took it off, cleaned it all up, painted it, put a little bit of overspray paint on here, but I'll remove that paint when I want to use it as a brake. Rims are good, tires are good. They were fitted new by the previous owner. It's had new wheel bearings, not Chinese bearings, by the way. Caliper's off, it's on the bench, but the master cylinder is on. Now this is a aftermarket master cylinder for a Yamaha XS650 and various other bikes, but it's of the correct diameter. I think it's 1/2 inch. I can't quite remember, but yeah, anyway, that's what we decided to try. It's a smaller diameter than the standard one, which is apparently gives a very wooden feel to the brake and not a very powerful brake. Now, I'm going to change things a bit because I've got a stoplight switch wiring up here on the master cylinder. I don't need the Guzzi one, which is down here, which is on a junction between the master cylinder and the caliper, and there's two rubber hoses that would normally do this job. There's one and there's the other. Now these are obviously very old, they're 50 years old almost. I don't think it would have ever been changed. They feel very spongy. I can compress them, so obviously they're not fit for the job. So we're going to replace that, and I'm going to replace it with steel braided. But if we're not using that junction anymore, why bother with it? Why have two pieces? So we'll just have one hose that goes down to the caliper. So let's go take a look at that. This is what I'm going to use. It's one of these do-it-yourself or build-your-own ones. I've used them in the past. I've used Van Hill ones in England, and they've always worked very well for me. So we've got 6 foot here. 6 foot is exactly twice what I need, but I'll have a spare piece should I decide to go twin disc on this bike, or should I need it for another bike. Now, in amongst the goodies, there's a couple of banjos. I only need 2 banjos, one on each end. There's the other one. A bunch of copper washers. Instructions. That's the company. Never used them before. Imagine they'll be okay. There's a little tool in there. So yeah, I've been building hydraulic hoses for the farm all my working life, so I don't think these are going to be a problem. And it saves trying to find two specific brake hoses to do this job. I mean, why, when this is just so easy? So that's what I'm doing. But then I was going to order some parts, and I thought, well, I wonder what this bloody caliper's like. I wonder, you know, if she is bad, and I wonder what it's like anyway, because I'm just going on third-party information. I mean, I don't really know because I haven't done it myself. So let's have a look at this thing and find out the state of this, find out what it's like, and then we'll make another decision. So first things first, I'll take the bolts out and splitter. Now on these early FO8s, there's 2 bleed nipples. Later on they went to 1 bleed nipple. It's up in this area somewhere. And these are notorious for snapping off, and that's why Guzzi changed the system. or Brembo changed the system, because they're actually Brembos. Brembo. Just see underneath where somebody's hit it with a hammer for some reason. So yeah, so these are notorious for breaking off. So what I did was I got the oxyacetylene torch on them, got this one to red hot, got that one to red hot, let them cool, came back, got them hot again, and came back a third time. So it had 2 heat cycles, which I thought would crack any corrosion here. Put a 10mm spanner on them, 10mm wrench, and they flew out. So success, which inspired me to go further. So all the intrepid explorers say. Yeah. So okay. So we've split the caliper, and the pistons are well and truly stuck in. They are solid, absolutely freaking solid. I had thought about taking this off, putting a grease nipple on and trying to pump them out with grease, but then I thought, no, let's use the welder and the farmer's friend, the oxyacetylene torch. So I got them as hot as I could. Just heating up this area here, just getting the inside warm and not touching the alloy. Just getting this nice and hot, and of course this started smoking and bubbling and spitting like Vesuvius, all the brake fluid coming out. Did that one, then went to the other one, did that, came back to this one, heated them up again. So on the third heat cycle, I got them hot, and then I stick the jolly old tool on there. The vice grip or the mole grip, whatever you want to call it. Just enough room to get it on. And so I put him on, and I started trying to wiggle. Well, it didn't want to move, so I got a screwdriver. I didn't use this, I used a screwdriver, so I put that in there, and just tiny bits, not giving it too much. Not giving it too much, because you haven't really got much holding it there. And gradually they came free, from just moving a fraction to doing a half, and then doing a full circle, and then going round and round and round. So when I was at that stage, then what I started to do was I started to pull. I started to pull and wriggle and pull and wriggle and pull. And very, very gradually they popped out. That side was worse than this one, but not that matters particularly. And what had happened was these seals, which says he stuck it in there, yeah. The seals which fit in a groove down in there, if you can see that groove, were holding the whole thing together. But once the pistons were out, I could see the inside of the calipers are actually very, very good. They're both very serviceable. They're not corroded or nasty in there at all. And what's even better is nobody's trying to hack them with a screwdriver. So anyway, so I think, well, we can rebuild them. Obviously the pistons are no good. But what saved the caliper was, can you see that there's bright metal on the left and rust on the right? Well, the seal had a death grip on the pistons, because these were very, very hard until they got some heat, and you can see the inside where I burnt it when I gave it the heat. And that softened it all up, and it released its grip on the piston, which was like that, you see. So the corrosion is top side, and the shiny metal is bottom side. We can ignore that, that's just burnt crap that was in there. So that saved the calipers. So for the price of 2 new pistons, 2 new seals, 2 dust covers, and a set of pins, we're back in business. Oh, and another factor was I had a look at the brake pads, and I thought, well, they're not too bad. They're almost new. They haven't done much, have they? And I flipped them over, and they're EBCs. Oh. Bonus, because these would be, I don't know, $50 to $70, something like that. So that saved a bit of cash. So we're going to rebuild this, and we're going to give it a try. Just going to order some parts in a very few moments for this and for some other stuff on the bike. I've just been waiting to see what I actually needed before I did it. So they'll be here in 2 or 3 weeks. And we've got to wait for the US Postal Service, Customs, and Canada Post to do their stuff, because these have got to come from the States. Can't find it anywhere to get them in Canada. So if you know anybody that sells Guzzi bits in Canada, please let me know. Regular Guzzi dealers aren't able to help with these because they don't go back far enough. So yeah, so waiting for those parts. They're all in stock. They should be here soon. I've got my gear to rebuild the brake lines. Actually, these came from Canada. These came from a very well-known supplier here. I'm not paid by them, so I'm not going to say who they are, but we all know who they are anyway. They're a good company to deal with. Never been screwed around by them. So yeah, there we go. So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from the Guzzi dog. Say goodbye, Sasha. Goodbye. And until next time, take care of yourselves, look after one another. Rubber side down, Guzzi side up. Keep it shiny. Bye-bye.